Welcome to part 2 of our small series Learning Kanji with the Migaku method for beginners. Last time we covered all the basics, why we developed the method, what the philosophy behind it is, the 3 stages every beginner goes through, and the setup. If you haven't seen the video yet, then you can find the link to the video in the description down below. Okay, with the add-on installed, the setup done, and the first 50 cards in RDK order waiting for you, what now? This is what we are going to talk about today. The topics for today are how to conquer the first kanji, mnemonics, what are they, how do I create them, and what to look out for. And finally, how to actually go about reviewing your cards. When we are talking about the first few kanji, we are specifically talking about kanji like the one for one, tree, or fire. For the later kanji, you will remember them by using mnemonics. Small stories that use the parts of a kanji you already learned before to create stories that help you remember the new kanji. But when you start out, you don't have any knowledge at all. And a lot of the kanji you encounter will be standalone kanji that later on will be used as a basis to learn the more complex characters. The best way in the beginning is to try to link the kanji to the objects they represent. Keep in mind that only a small part of the total amount of kanji is pictographic. The kanji you can easily memorize like this are called shoukei, which just means pictographic. So kanji that look like the thing they try to represent. And shiji, kanji that get their shape from the logical representation of an idea. Examples for shoukei would be yama, ki, as yama does kinda look like a mountain, and ki does look like a tree. That is what they represent. An example for shiji would be ue and shita. For ue, you have something above a line, and for shita, you have something below a line. And as expected, they mean above and below. So for the kanji that fall under those two categories, you should be able to memorize them fairly easily. Theoretically, you could already start using mnemonics for kanjis like the one for C, as this one is made out of legs and eye, and you could create a mnemonic story out of this. But if you feel like you can picture some cyclops that sees you and walks towards you and can remember the keyword, then there is no need for you to create a story. Once you have the first few kanji under your belt, you will notice that slowly kanji will appear that are a bit more complex and are created from other parts you have seen before. Like you learned that this means strength and this means field. If we combine them, we get this kanji, otoko, which means male. This is still a pretty simple kanji and you could probably brute force learn it. But once you have a few hundred kanji down and get to characters like this, or this, you will have a hard time. And this is where mnemonics come into play. I touched on it briefly in the section before, but I will repeat it again. Mnemonics, in the context of learning kanji, are short sentences that combine the keywords of the parts a kanji is made out of and create a vivid mental image that helps you to remember the keyword of the combined kanji. The example I like to use the most is the kanji for parent. It is made out of the parts for stand, tree, and sea. Here, my go-to story is you can easily spot a parent as they are standing on trees, so you can see their kids. And this is the first part where you have to experiment a bit with what works best for you. Because there are some people that have problems remembering the goal keyword if it is written in the beginning of the mnemonic sentence. So in this example, the keyword we want to remember is parent. And it appears first in the sentence, before the other keywords of the parts come up. So if you notice that you have problems remembering the goal keyword when it comes first in the sentence, then you have to arrange your sentence in a way that it comes last. All the cards created by our add-on come with pre-made sentences, and you could use them as your mnemonics. But we still recommend that you create your own, as mnemonics you created yourself are much more memorable. Whenever you learn a new kanji, the parts any given kanji is made out of can be seen below under primitives. When a new kanji appears in your queue, you have already learned all the primitives for it and can use them to create your own little mnemonic story. Another point is that when you create a story like this, try to visualize it. Try to see someone standing on a tree watching out for their kids while they are playing. This will make it easier for you to remember the same scenery next time, and with this, the story and the keyword as well. Okay, this section might confuse a few people at first because the answer to how you review your cards seems pretty obvious. The kanji card appears in Anki and you try to remember the keyword of it with the imagery or the mnemonic you used. On a basic level, that is all we have to talk about here, but there are still some important points we have to touch on that can save you some headache and a lot of time. What most people will notice when they learn kanji this way is that in the beginning they will remember them mnemonic stories fine. After a while they fade and only the keyword remains. But don't worry about that, it is completely normal and part of the process. If you end up forgetting the story but still remember the keyword, you are golden. You will also eventually end up forgetting the keyword, and that is fine as well. Okay, this may sound strange after I said that it's fine to forget the mnemonic as long as you remember the keyword. To put it in a different way, mnemonics and the keywords are like a concrete encasement, something that you use for a period of time to support the structure until the concrete has hardened. In language terms, they are there so you have an easier time remembering kanji and words that use them until the knowledge of the language is enough and you just remember the meaning of any given kanji through its use in words. So if this happens to you and you end up forgetting mnemonics, don't worry, and more importantly, don't try to spend time remembering the story again. The keywords have to stay a little bit longer than the story, as you still need them so you can build mnemonics for the new kanji you are learning. But this shouldn't be that big of a deal, as they do get reinforced a bit more often, every time they appear as part of a new kanji. When you're about to build your mnemonic for a new kanji, just take a few seconds and look at the primitives the kanji is made out of, so you can refresh the memory of the keywords of those primitives again. After around the first 1000 kanji, you should also be able to remember new ones without building mnemonics first. And just learning the words they are used in is enough. But if you are a beginner, don't worry too much about this for now and focus on learning the first few kanji. We will talk a bit more about this in the advanced version of the How to Learn Kanji with the Migaku Method series. With this, we are done with the beginner part for now. If there are any topics in the future that have to be covered, we will definitely make a new video and add it. But for now, I hope this helped you with the setup and what you need to know to get started. Thanks for watching and thanks for all the support. I hope you are all ready for the next big things to come.